Good morning, traders. I'm going to send a quick email out, update out. It's Friday, the 6th of July. Very important, obviously, today is very important. Obviously, is what's one of the reasons we're going to be incredibly cautious about trading today is in the UK, well, this US non-farm employment day. So this is the possibility and the potential to really upset the market. So it's obviously not a good idea to trade today, and after that probably most of the big traders with the big money are going to head home to relax for the weekend. So there really is no point in kind of trading today, and just to have a look at how things are setting up next week. But I thought it's really a good idea to give you a heads up now, so that to kind of give you an idea of how good the market is actually looking at the moment, so that next week you can you have some stuff that you can actually go ahead and look at. So the first thing is I'm just showing you quickly the US dollar. This is always going to be a part of my analysis, but just wanted to highlight that the US dollar has now proceeded to break this previous high. So we have a low, a high, a high, a low, a high, a high. So we are back in an uptrend. It looks pretty good, which means that is going to cause the euro, which has also done a similar inverse thing, which has got a high, a low, a lower high, and a new low. We've broken this. So this is a great sign. It should indicate that we should be back into a downtrend. We'll see how choppy it is next week, but this is a fabulous thing. So you should be looking at least from a macro perspective, a macro trend line, as opposed to a larger time frame trend line. I will be looking next week, certainly waiting for price to pull back in line with sort of completes its phase 2, looking for opportunities to enter to go short again as part of its phase 1. So just, it'll be lovely to see it pull back to the 20 moving average, and to give us a nice little high test off that, and then start looking for a reversal of that and start taking those trades. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for this to pull back to complete most of its phase 2. We can't enter now anyway, because the move has just broken the previous low. At this point in time, we have to wait for a pullback, as well. Beginner traders have to wait for a pullback to then start looking to take shorts. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm quite happy to be bearish on the euro, but I can't enter the trades just yet. You need to wait until it pulls back and then take it short. All right, cable is the same, looking fabulous. We have still quite bearish on cable. Price has pulled almost all the way back to the previous low. Currently, it's a lower high. We'll see if it remains that way, but I'm still quite bearish on it. And so I'll be looking same kind of thing. I'd like to see it break this previous low and then pull back, and then I'll be looking to take it short. So that may be next week. That could be the following week after, but it will probably be next week it'll set up. And the nice thing is then we're past non-farm payroll, and the trading opportunities have improved. Next thing, Swiss. Swiss is looking really nice and bullish. There we go, broken the previous high. So the market, it's on all of the currency pairs where we had this really big jolt, which you can see across the market that's happened. Go to the dollar index, there it is, there's that big move. Look at the euro, there's the inverse of that, the big move. It's very important. First of all, you should be noticing that this happened across all the markets, all the majors. That's important. You should be aware of that. The next thing that you should be aware of is that although that big move happened, it seems to have ignored that. So the market has just disregarded that and then continued back into the trend that it had started over here. So there's a reaction, and then it just disregarded it and actually has completely broken those previous lows. So what that means is that the overall strength, because of this big reaction and the market subsequently ignoring that or disregarding it, the overall strength of the downward trend is still looking really good. Okay, so the overall strength of those trends looking really good. So on the Swiss franc, nice, lovely bullish move. Wait for a pullback in line with that. First of all, I'd like to see a kind of pullback to the 20 moving average, probably to a key level. Maybe even, I was going to say in line with the trend line. We have a bit of a macro trend line happening here. So if I just go from there to there, I'd kind of like to see something come back in line with this and to meet up with the 20 moving average potentially and bounce and go long. But yeah, so that's something that I'll be waiting for. I'd really hope it'll happen next week. Here's the yen. The yen is looking bullish. This is beautiful. There we go. Let's do that. So there we go. We've got our higher lows and higher highs. Bit of chaos here, but it's definitely trying to break its way out. This one, again, I think if price does end up coming to this part of the line and then starts to move up from there, I'm ready to go long on that already. If it starts to break this line, then I would sit it out. Then I'd be cautious. But it is looking nice and bullish. So again here, nice new high, pulls back, and then actually starts going through this turmoil. And I think part of the reason for that is it was actually not wanting to go any lower. So it's wanting to go higher. So let's see. We really want to see a nice sequence of good strong bars come out of that. Looking great. It's broken through the moving averages, these little moving averages over here. It's broken through that. Come back down to test, see the strength, and then go forwards. Looking great. Aussie dollar. Same thing. You can actually see. Higher lows, higher highs, pull back. This is great. Broken through resistance, coming back to test support. Same thing. You can't really enter just yet as a beginner trader. Wait for it to pull back to approximately this area here. Be nice to see it do a low test or small little inside bars around this area and then start to proceed long, even if it's in this area along the trend line, and then start to proceed long. That'll be great. Hopefully that'll all happen very quickly. Same thing here. You can see it's broken through, kind of ending that phase, potentially coming back, maybe even a low test. I might do it in one day. We might find that suddenly next week, either in the beginning of the week or the middle of the week, bang, we get a big move. Price comes down to this level and then closes up as a low test and then proceeds off. Okay, so that can happen in any number of variations, but I'm looking to see it pull back, maybe even further, to see it pull back and touch the 20 probably and then move off. If it bounces off the 10, that implies that the trend is going to be really strong going forwards from there. 20 is better for me. Okay, CAD. Actually, trending over here is looking quite interesting. It's still a lower low, so again, you can't trade it. You'd have to wait for it to pull back before you look to trading it, and it's such a choppy chart. I'd be very careful about trading this. But yeah, pull it back and then probably look for shorts. Let's have a look. So that's quite cool. So what that does mean is that a lot of the Swissy pairs, I mean Kiwi Swissy, it's just absolutely amazing. Very much overextended. Does need to do a pullback. So we'll need to find a point at which it will pull back, possibly somewhere around there, right? Which would bring it back in line with a 20. So I'd be happy to see that do that. I wouldn't enter now. I'd wait for it to pull back. So that's definitely, but beautiful, beautiful, strong trend. So that just leaves us with a few of these. Also, you'll find same kind of thing here. This is quite a big breakthrough, potentially waiting for price next week on these strong trending ones that we missed, or if you did miss these, wait for those to pull back to the 10 or the 20, hopefully to those levels, and then proceed downwards. So that'll be pound Aussie, pound Kiwi, same kind of thing. There's a bit of a level here, so we possibly might find that this proceeds down to the next level. Alternatively, it will end up coming back to about, we'll see what happens with this. But otherwise it might pull back to even a previous level, which is kind of over here. Which, again, makes sense if it can bounce back to that. So I would be expecting at some point here it's going to probably turn around. Right, let's see here. Aussie Swissy. Great, broken the previous high. Again, wait for a pullback, probably to the 10 or 20, or to a key level. Might be looking good on that one, so we'll have to see. Yeah, so there's some nice Swissy, Aussie, Kiwi, Swissy, Yen pairs that we can look to trade. Beautiful. Look at this. Nice trend line. A badly drawn trend line. So I know there's two touches here. I wouldn't worry about it. I'm expecting the third touch. So we'll be watching to see what happens there. That's it. Let's have a good thing happen. Let's see what else lines up here. Potentially there. Maybe price will pull back to this area and start going long. 20's just crossed over the 50s. The moving averages are looking strong. They might start fanning out in the right direction. This is a really good sign to go long. So a lot of the trends are starting to appear. So it would be nice to see if they kick off and we can start to enjoy. It's been so turbulent the last few weeks. It'd be really nice to see that kick off. Just a quick look at the stock market. The indices, again, looking incredibly bullish at this point in time. We've got high lows, high highs. You can see this phase is ending. High test up there, probably a pullback before proceeding long. That's the FTSE. So I would be looking in that market for individual stocks that are certainly if they are correlating with what the FTSE is doing, the FTSE 100, I would be looking to enter long trades when prices pull back. Let's see, Russell 2000, bang, massive new highs. Nasdaq, new high, broken over that, bullish. S&P, new high, bullish, looking great. Dow Jones, bullish. These are all really, really big things. Look at the weekly chart. We're looking to make a run up for that level again. So we've got some good trades to do on that. So the markets, all the stock indices around the world, or at least the biggest ones, are looking quite bullish. Let's have a quick look at gold. Massive indecision because of the condition of the market. There's a rejection level there. So what we might find is just gold will range in this particular area at the for this time. It seems to be ping-pong here, but this is massive turbulence compared to here. We had a clean bounce, then we had a particularly slightly more messy bounce, and then we have an even more messy patch. So gold is not looking fabulous. I would be careful about trading that. We need to see it actually break out of this, or we need something. We need it to break out of here or break out of here, personally, for me to do that. That's it, guys. So looking good for some really good setups soon. So I'm quite optimistic about the setups. I will be trading carefully because, of course, we could have a really nice, on any particular chart, we could get a really nice run. We could get something that just works perfectly, or, of course, we could get something that becomes a lot more choppy. So I'll just be trading accordingly. I'll be looking at my hourly charts. If I'm looking at a chart, I'll be looking for really nice, good, strong, neat, tidy cycles rather than choppy parts like this. This is quite choppy. I'll be looking, hopefully, to see better cycles that make a lot more sense. So if I'm seeing this, I'll have a lot more confidence in my trades rather than seeing something that looks a lot more up and down, which happens. Okay, so do that. Keep an eye on it. But things are looking quite optimistic. Should be starting to see some good opportunities and making a good anything from 5 to 25% next month. If these setups continue across the board, we can take them. Don't be afraid to trade the crosses either. All right, happy trading.